Good afternoon. Respected dignitaries, directors on and off the dais, faculty members and student managers present here. I, Simran Khurana, student manager of Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development, Pune, feels honored to introduce you Mr. Binod Hampapur Rangore, Executive VP of Infosys, Honorable Chairman, Board of Governor of Rangador Memorial Hospital, Global Head of Talent and Technology Operations Quality. He is a trustee of Infosys Foundation and Infosys Employee Welfare. Mr. Binod is a graduate in Industrial and Production Engineering from the BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. Mr. Binod has over 32 years of industry experience. He started his career as a technical sales engineer at Microbosch. He joined Infosys in the year 1993 as the head of manpower planning. From 1996 to 1998, he was the head of customer support group for banking business unit of Infosys. Subsequently, he was the senior vice president and global head of commercial. He took he took on the role of global head of commercial and corporate relation function in 2010. As a responsible corporate citizen, Mr. Binod has funded the establishment of 150-bed hospital of Sri Sringri Muth. In an honorable role, he is a chairman of the board of governors of Rangador Memorial Hospital, which is named after his father, late H.S. Rangador. Mr. Binod has held various several leadership positions at Infosys. As mentioned before, he is responsible for recruitment, global immigration, quality, government relation, Indian Business Unit, Computer and Communication Division Information System, Information Security Group, and Procurement of Infosys. Sir, it is an honor to have you among us. The dais is all yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you. Oh my God. This is like coming into an army. I came here with a prepared speech, and having listened to a few questions of yours, I think I'll first open it for question answers, Q&A, and then probably cover some of this. But before that, I think let me pay my respects to Dr. Balasubramanian. Dr. Bala had visited me in Bangalore in 2014 with one of your student leaders. So very interesting interactions that we had. And I had the opportunity to meet him this morning and spend some time. Though I would have liked him to be here, but I can understand his health conditions. And Dr. Gopal Krishnan, thank you for inviting me here. Respected faculty members and the staff of the institutions here. My dear friend Simran Khurana and Himanshu Talreja, who have been interacting with me, bombarding me with a lot of questions on WhatsApp. Thank you, both of you, for interacting with me. And not the last but not the least either, my dear friends who are assembled here today. It's a great pleasure for me always to interact with youngsters. You know, interacting with youngsters is like interacting with my children. They anyway don't listen to me. I know that you will also not listen to me. I'll tell you why. Because you have packed some 9 speakers in a day. I was worried that you will be very confused. I was worried you will have divergent views going into your mind. Finally, you will all become khichdi. I only hope you people come out as better professionals and don't, make khichdi out of whatever is being discussed. Interestingly, I hope this interaction with me is going to be mutually beneficial for you as well as me. To me, it's a learning experience. For you, I will share some of my experiences in life, which probably will help you in chiseling your own career going forward. In fact, I was just going through the vision statement that you have. It's a very simple but meaningful vision statement that you have. It covers the aspirations of students, parents, and the industry. I probably, at this stage in life, this age, I probably would add society also as a constituent into that, so that it is something that you need to do, keeping society in mind, because whatever you do finally ends up, society should be the beneficiary. So you have said to stand up to the expectations of the students, parents, industry, and society, to produce competent managerial talent. The word resources I would replace with talent. And to perform and deliver in the dynamic global environment. I think that's a wonderful statement there. I was also very delighted to see the key values that you people have, that you people aspire to be: discipline, dedication, determination. Now, I can see discipline in this room because all of you have a uniform, all of you said, yes, sir. That Josh came. And I could see a lot of organization here. People are, exceedingly tight in whatever you guys are doing. Now, I would like to ask you a question. How many of you agree with all these, the values that you people have defined? Okay. Very reluctantly, the hands are coming up. So there are a few. How many of you don't agree? Cameras off. How many of you don't agree? Nobody. Everybody agrees. Hey, I don't agree. Don't you think we are overdoing this? No? I hear a yes also somewhere. Let us have the argument, no issues. It's nothing right, nothing wrong. There's nothing like that. But don't you think that this is also curtailing the power of innovation? Yes? I agree with the yeses here. But anyway, our education system has made us this way. A for, it can be ant, it can be antelope, it can be many things, right? But no, we have been taught A for apple. B for? C for? C can be coffee also. But you know what? In the Indian education system, children are very inquisitive. Children are extremely inquisitive, but we curtail that inquisitiveness the moment they go into school, because that is where they are taught A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and they don't think anything else outside of that. So, somewhere we need to be very careful. I am not arguing that discipline is bad. I am not arguing that that's not going to help. It's going to tremendously help, and I'll share some experiences there. But we should be very careful to make sure that it doesn't come and hurt our innovation, doesn't come and curtail our power of innovation. Now, discipline, is it required? Who says no? Okay, I like it. You know, uh, if we need to see indiscipline and disorder, believe me, all of us are practicing indiscipline. All of us are practicing disorder. You're agreeing in this room that discipline is very important, but then the roads are very chaotic. The traffic is extremely chaotic. Why? Because we are indisciplined and there is total disorder. Earlier somebody asked a question about Japan, but what works in India is jugaad, right? In Japanese, you people have heard of the nomenclature called just in time, JIT. You know what's the Indian version of that? SHIT. JIT has become SHIT in India. That SHIT stands for somehow in time. It works. When you go to the airport, you have no clue you are going to catch the flight. Why? Because you are stuck in a traffic jam and you have no means on earth to think that you will catch the flight. But somehow, after all of this, there is the Indian jugaad will make sure that flights take off on time. And with God's grace, the flights land also. Right? So somehow it works. And we are very happy with that. We as a cultural race are extremely happy with that. But imagine in the Western world, it's the same human race, but living in the Western world, there's a lot of discipline. There is a lot of, should I say, orderliness, and they're very happy. Now, we should get there. We should be happier too. Today here we have the survival of the fittest. The person who overtakes you madly in a traffic is very happy going and standing in the next traffic signal. Uske baad kya? Pata nahi. Next traffic signal is the target. So somehow this mentality of, trying to beat everything else and going ahead should get into some kind of a discipline. This is what I would like to bring out. Of course, you can say that India is a country of 1.3 billion people. We have to, there is a lot of shortage, etc., etc. But you know what? That is the excuse we are finding to be indisciplined. We need to change that. Why am I telling you all this? Because you all have imbibed that as your key value. And this is where you need to make a difference. Do you know what Himanshu wants to become? I asked him this morning, what do you want to be? He says, management expert. So I said, why don't you become a traffic cop? Traffic management. So after that, he stopped talking to me. I also want all of you in this room to take one pledge that there is something called a horn in your vehicles. I don't want you to use them. It is not worth it. Some vehicles in India move more with horn than with fuel. Right? I also used to horn a lot in my younger days. But after some time, that horn actually gave way. So whenever I pressed the horn, it would give me a shock. So I stopped honking, but I didn't realize that I could use my brains to actually drive. It was not required. So somewhere that noise pollution has to go. And if I am able to convince 850 people here not to honk while they drive, I think we'll be in a better country. So my request to you, please follow that. Many of us have chosen our paths. How many of you have chosen your paths? Have you come into this course just because you wanted to do it or because somebody pushed you into it? Show of hands, please. How many voluntarily came into this course? You are telling me a lie. Having come into this, okay, having come into this, we have to get out in flying colors. Correct? Now we don't have a choice. Now, having come into this, that is where your dedication comes into play. So, having come into this, we have to come out in flying colors. So, what is the mantra for it? Can somebody enumerate? What should we do to be very successful? Follow discipline. All of that you will get where you get to? Yes? Is there something called as luck? Yeah? Yeah, okay. So, I would like to relate climbing Mount Everest. So, if you need to climb your Mount Everest, then you need to have a lot of hard work and you need to have a lot of dedication. Correct? And what after all of this, you need to command respect from others. We cannot be the best, or we become irrelevant if we are not the best. That's something dedication will bring us, and that's what all of us are about. And in Infosys is a very classic example of this. When 7 software professionals started this company, they had only one dream, and the dream was to be a respected corporation. Today we are a highly respected corporation. We are respected for our values and what we do. We are not too worried about who is the CEO, who is the COO, who is the CFO. We are not too concerned about it. Those are just positions. But our work gets done at the project level. So the passion, the dedication is at that level. The customers believe in us at that level. The customers don't care too much about our leadership. But of course, from the project level comes our base grassroots leadership to lead the company. Now then you have what somebody said, that you need to dream, right? You need to plan. You have all been taught the PDCA cycle, correct? Plan, do, check and act cycle. And that will somehow make sure that you're set on course. Now let me ask you a few questions. How many of you think you will go abroad to work? Okay. I think the whole class here will go outside of India. All of you. Because there is a shortage of pair of hands outside in the world. Of course, you have friends like Donald Trump and some others who will stop you from going there. So let me ask you, how many of you think, is Donald Trump right or wrong? Right? You have almost equal views, right? Donald Trump is right, Donald Trump is wrong. Is Narendra Modi right or wrong? Okay. Narendra Modi said make in India. Correct? So that's what Donald Trump is saying. So if Narendra Modi is right, Donald Trump is also right. Right? Why? Somebody said no. Great. Let me hear your views. Okay, let us put 1.3 billion people into America. Our population. Just lift and shift this population to America. Then will they be a good economy? They will not know what to do. My friend, they are a strong economy because of lower population. That's all. We are stronger. So the fact that what he is saying, he is saying the same thing. Actually, Donald Trump is not wrong at all because he is providing opportunities of employment to his people. It is right. So Britain has said that, Australia has said that, Singapore has said that. So all these places, they want employment for locals to happen in those countries. It will happen. That cannot be controlled by Donald Trump. Trade will happen. 85% of all the goods in the US are Chinese. So if China, best thing for America is if they shut down for just 2 weeks, all the Indians and all the Chinese get out of the US on a holiday for 2 weeks. That whole thing will crumble in America. I'll give you an example. I was in Las Vegas during Christmas vacation. I go there, your cook is not American, your hotel attendant is not American, the housekeeping person is not American. All Americans want to have a nice holiday if with all the people from outside America managing the whole thing. So of course water will find its own level. But when Donald Trump has said that America is for Americans, do you really know what happened? The employment opportunities in India went up a tenfold because American corporations overnight started increasing their numbers in India. Hinjavadi got filled up. There is no space in Hinjavadi. Bangalore got filled up. A company which had just 200-seater just became 2,000-seater. It's an American corporation. Why did they do that? Because they don't find people there. They had to shift all the jobs back to India. So that is where employment opportunities are. So all of you will work for multinational corporations and probably you will all go abroad because they don't have pair of hands. And of course you, apart from pair of hands, you have a great mind. And that is where Indian jugaad will come into place. If you don't call us, we will come. Correct? That's the mantra we have. But do you think that will cause brain drain for India? It's already happening. But a lot of people are coming back also, no? Your Simran wants to be an entrepreneur. She says, I want to start a few food chain business. I said, I'm qualified. Size dekha mera. So, she wants to do that. So, there is going to be a lot of talent required outside of India. And that talent is sitting in this room. Of course, in similar rooms in other B schools. I have to be very partial to can't be partial to Balaji alone, right? Now, wherever you go, my only request, I'll come back to this, my request is, even if you go there, don't forget where you came from. Your head can be in the skies above the clouds, but make sure your feet is firmly on the ground. So the ground that I am talking about is the motherland. So don't forget your motherland. So let us bring it back at some point of time. Now we talked about working outside of India. So is India a good place to work? Yes? I'm glad to hear that. Government job or private job? How many government jobs here, please? Okay. Rest are private and business, right? Okay, great. So, India has got fantastic opportunities. Whoever raised your hands for government jobs, I want to tell you, we work with the government of India. And government of India has done some wonders, which I would like to share here today. Right? For example, both the taxes, the direct taxes and the indirect taxes, after you all, in a few years from now, when you file income tax returns, please know that Infosys is processing it. The software that we have written will be processing it. So we process the direct tax returns of almost 8 crore taxpayers in this country. 8 crore people have PAN cards. Only 6 crore people file their returns. Okay, maybe the other 2 crores are yet to file or yet to get an earning to file. And the indirect taxes, we run the GST, the Goods and Services Tax for India. Now, that is the world's largest open source platform. It's the world's largest. It has got invoice upload speeds of 50,000 invoices per second. It's one of the fastest and one of the largest open source platforms in the world. We have collected we collect on a monthly basis about 94,000 crores in India as taxes from about close to 1.2, it's about, 120 lakh entities that file the return and pay the tax. It's a great opportunity. In fact, some of the people who work in the income tax department and in the GST are all very, very brainy people. Did you know one of the guys who is responsible for IT in income tax is from IIT Chennai, IIT Madras. He's working very closely and extremely dynamic person. Without such people, government of India will not exist. So some of you are planning to get into the government, it will be a great place to work. Also, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is making India shine. Earlier, it used to take about 14 days to start a company. Today, it takes less than a day, 0.6 days to be precise, to open your own company, register your name and start your company. How many of you know the story of Department of Post, which has got 155,000 post offices across India? These 155,000 post offices overnight became a bank. You have heard of this case study? Great. Now, out of this 155,000 post office, only 25,000 post offices are actually in physical presence in the cities. They control 80% of the business. The remaining 20% of the locations are banking is done through a handheld device. The postman carries this handheld device. Of course, it could be a little more elegant. It is like a hammer today. He can nail something with that device. It's so rugged. And he takes it to the individual household where a fingerprint can be scanned and you can transact business with the postman. It's an amazing feature that has come out. How many of you are interested in HR? You can all walk to Government of Gujarat because we have implemented the HRMS for them. Can you believe government implementing HRMS systems for the government officials? Amazing lead that they have done. Of course, we did the smart grid for Karnataka. We did some interesting projects for Indian Railways. And of course, our banking product called Finacle is running 85% of banking transactions in India. That's a platform that Infosys has built. Now, let me stop here. I want to get into Q&A. I want to know what your fears are. What are your fears? What are you worried about? You can please ask questions. Just share me your fears. Anybody? No fear? Fear of failure. Great. All of us have that fear. Correct? When you go into an exam, all of us have that fear of failure. Correct? We agree with him or no? Okay. That is one. What else?
Very good afternoon, sir. On the left.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being in our campus. So the question is like, I'm from senior batch HR, and we have been taught to focus on people-oriented workplace. So why are we worried about the threats of technologies and digitization?
People oriented stuff. So, what do people do? People do their work,
Yeah.
and if you do things more manually, I mean, what does technology do? It just automates a few things for you. Correct? So, today's banks are all running on technology. Otherwise, you will be doing all the calculations yourself, right? And if that is mundane enough and repetitive enough, you can put it into automation. You can put it into technology. So, it is the people and the technology that has to go together. The customer experience, the employee experience, the experience of the other person who's dealing with you comes from the people, it doesn't come from technology. Correct? So it is like you are at a traffic signal. You need some organization there. You are using technology. But then if you break that rule, then somebody will catch you. Supposed to catch you, right? Now, how many people can you catch? Not much, whatever is physically possible for the traffic cop to handle. But if you install cameras in all the four directions, automatically it becomes very disciplined. Yes?
But the
So,
question,
I think technology should aid the people, but the people aspect of it will never go away. I think that is what you've been told, right? It is very important to have the people aspect. The emotion comes from the person, but technology handles the issue. Is that, did I answer your question? No.
so it is said that if you look at the current situation of Indian industry, we have 17%, like approx 17% of artificial intelligence already in our country. And if you look at the stats which have been forecasted, it is said that by 2020 will be automated to 50%, and by 2030 around 75%. So how well we are ready to adapt these changes? How industry is ready to adapt these changes?
Yeah, industries don't have a choice. They have to adapt. Now, your worry is what will happen to us? Correct? Is that your worry? You're
Somewhere.
saying if everything gets automated, what will I do? But who will do automation? You will have to do the automation. So we need more people to do automation. For example, in Infosys, we started doing a lot of automation of L1, L2 jobs. They are very mundane, repetitive. We can just ask the computer to take over. You can write a piece of code to make sure that that works automatically. Our help desk or really the L1, L2 support can all move into that. Now, All those people got worried. What will we do? We said, okay, you will do nothing. You move and do the automation. So we had to repurpose our people, reskill our people, and push them into creating automation. We need those people more and more to happen. You know, I want you guys, there is a wonderful book called Why Simple Wins. Okay, written by an author called Lisa Bodel. It is all about simplicity. It is simplifying. We all make unnecessary, we complicate our life. It is not required to complicate our life. On the contrary, all of us have been given a mind to actually simplify. When you join a lot of organizations in the future, your job is to identify problems and solve those problems. In that process, you need to simplify. You know, that is the purpose of this. So one of the actions when you're trying to do automation is also to simplify. First question, is this really required? If this is required, we go forward. If it is not required, dump it there itself. That is something that we all do as part of the design thinking workshops that we do. Now coming to this fear of failure. You know, many of our youngsters who join Infosys, when they go through training, they have a fear because our passing mark is 65. They have to clear 65 with minimum passing mark of 65 to move forward. So I asked them, what do you aim for? If you aim for 65, it is quite likely that you get 64. And 3 attempts of 64, you have to unfortunately leave the company. So the problem is the aim that we keep. If we aim for 95, then probably we will be better off. Now the aim that you have, the fear of failure that you have is at a younger age, you can take that risk. In fact, I normally say your attempt may go a failure, but never fail to attempt. You can always attempt. You will fail, it's okay. Move to the next one. A failure is only a stepping stone to success. But having not attempted is going to eat you. मार खाओ कोई बात नहीं, बट धोखा मत खाओ, ढोकला खाओ. Yes, madam.
A very good afternoon, sir. Sir, my name is Jyoti, and I am from senior marketing batch. Sir, my fear is about recession. 10 years back, Lehman Brothers, or currently we are talking that we are growing by 8.2%, or rupee or oil prices. So where to look, sir? 8.2%, Lehman Brothers, Nirav Modi, where to look, sir?
Don't look anywhere. Jyoti bane Jwala. You should become Jwala. Then you will solve the problem. Don't become Jwala with the oil. Okay? No, the answer is with you. The answer is in the future. You are the future. You have to work harder to make sure that that is achieved or you get there. It may not be your direct problem. There could be a problem of so many things. But you know, the debt that India had, a lot of that debt has been covered. A lot of the money that has been unearthed in black money and all of that has gone on to pay off many of the debts that has happened. It has been done very silently though. But the economy, the recession is a big equalizer. It will make us more grounded. You know, we all think that we are very great. I was just talking to one of the panelists, the previous panelists, and he said, when are you coming next to Bombay? I said, I don't want to come to Mumbai. Why? Because I get depressed when I come to Mumbai. I see people on the pavements, I see people sleeping on the street when somebody is going to Leela and wasting food on the table. I mean, you just have to pick up that and give to this person. His life will be made. Somebody is spending a person's monthly salary on one dinner. It's ridiculous. When I see this stark difference, I get seriously depressed. Now, can I solve that problem? That's your question. Can I solve that problem? I may not be able to solve the direct problem, but in my own way, probably I'll be able to solve the problem. I have to work hard, I have to make a lot of money, and I have to do a lot of charity. I have to make sure that I do certain things that are sustainable for poor people. They do need that. So we all have to work very hard, make a lot of money, plow it back into the society, and make sure that societies prosper. It takes a lot of time. It is not easy. First our stomach has to be full. Then you can think about somebody else's stomach. You can't be hungry and solving some other problem. Of course, you need to have the heart in the right place to do it. You can start small, but that culture has to come. It is not okay for us to enjoy if somebody else is suffering. That doesn't gel well.
Okay, so I completely agree with your point. Recently, one of the speaker also talked about the same, that serving to the nation back. Earn, as you said, earn for yourself and then give it to nation. So, my question is that where should we do it independently, or should we give it to someone that they'll manage it or something like that?
Good question. You can give it to me. Okay, let me tell you this. It is better you do it, because today there is a lot of money in the system. Maybe money is not required.
Okay.
Maybe effort is required. So it is not that charity does not mean just cutting a check and throwing it somebody. That is not charity. You have to get involved into the activity and do it. So it needs passion. More than money, it needs passion. If you go to an orphanage and help somebody, go to an old age home and help somebody, it is the effort that matters, not the money. Money will come. But when you are going to give money to somebody, please be very careful. Because you need to be very confident how it is going to be used. I just want to give you an example. Cry Foundation
Yes, sir.
uses 62% of the money that they get on themselves. 38% goes to the beneficiary. That is not an NGO. They spend it on themselves. Whatever is left goes to the beneficiary. That is not charity. So you have to be very careful in whom you choose to give. There are 8,000 NGOs in Orissa. All of them are bogus. If you go outside of India, you open some magazines and you read. And if you happen to see 3 different magazines, the face of the children will be the same. The boards will be different. They are all asking for charity. This is very painful to see. When some of them notice this and they tell us, it's very shameful. We cannot accept that. So what we have done in Infosys is, we channelize all our profits. 2% of our profits will go into Infosys Foundation, and we have the able leadership of Sudha Murthy to make sure that it is spent in the right direction. It goes to the right direction. We build hospitals. We build, when the hudud happened in Vizag, 5th day from there I was there just to make sure that whatever they need has to be done. So we built 220 houses for fishermen in Pudimadaka. These we do directly. We don't part money with anybody else, because that is very important. Of course, you can start small, but then you need to know where to channelize it. It should not go waste. Then you will feel very bad. Then my Donald Trump was here. वो धोखा खाएगा, धोखला नहीं. So धोखा नहीं खाने का. But you people are very smart. You don't worry. Your money will be safe. You will spend it on the right aspects, apart from some nice cosmetics also.
Certainly, sir. I'll adapt that second part.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have fear of realization.
Repeat, please.
Fear of realization.
Okay. Fear of realization.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain that?
Sir, every mistake, whatever the mistakes we do in life, may fall under category number 1. Either we realize we didn't follow, or category number 2, mistakes, we have done some mistakes, but we are unable to realize. Why? Because of due to our ignorance or lack of knowledge or some other else thing maybe. How to overcome this?
Oh boy. I have to realize that now. You know, you've heard of the term called artificial intelligence?
Sir,
That is the opposite of natural stupidity. Right? Yeah, but you know, experience is the only thing. If you look at it's not fear of realization actually. You actually realize something and you are using that experience. I'll give you an example. If you put a candle in front of a small baby or a small child, the child will put its hand on the candle, it will burn its hand once. Second time you keep the candle there, it will never touch it, correct? It's with the experience. So the experience will make you a better individual than, I don't think it's the realization. Realization is the bad experience that you get. And after that you will never repeat it. Correct? So, but I'm sure every human, once there is a bad experience, they're very careful on attempting that again. Did you go and tell some girl, I love you? Now realization aa gaya. Somebody would have hit him also. But still he didn't stop, he went and attempted again. But of course, he didn't attempt on the same person. That is the realization. Say, I can talk your language also. I have 2 children. I can understand that. Okay. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is Yash. Thank you for showering knowledge on us. And so my question is that we are seeing that by 2019 and 2020, electric vehicles, electric cars would come in the market. But the basic source of electricity in India comes by 65% is thermal and nuclear is only 3%. So that would be, would you think that it would be more costlier than a normal car, sir? And so and pressure on our electricity area would increase.
If Jyoti doesn't work very hard, then that will be true. But she is going to work hard to bring the oil prices down. So then probably it will work. But let me tell you, it will get into a supply chain management issue. In the yesteryears, it used to be very expensive to even put up a solar panel on top of your house. Very, very expensive. It used to be only for the elite. But today, because the solar panels increased in number, the economy of scale started working. So the economy of scale will decide where the water level will be. So I don't think if tomorrow that is the way to go, if that is the way we are going to have electric cars and the electric cars are going to give us the benefit, you have to see the multitude of benefits that you are going to get. Maybe pollution, benefit of pollution, whatever. All of that will probably make sure that people go in that direction. Already, there are a lot of people who are using battery operated cars, the electric cars, as a second vehicle. If they know that they are just going to go to office and come back, they might as well use that. A lot of people are doing that. But is that the way forward? Probably yes. And in fact, one of the other where we are going to be driven later is probably there more use of public transport than private transport. In fact, people are worried. Today, Toyota is worried that the way a lot of Uberization that is happening to personal transport, people don't know whether they should buy a car because it's very easy to use a Uber or Lyft or Ola or whoever it is available. You don't need to buy a car. So all of this will play a role in what is the market that is available. If the market is large, economy of scale will kill that, and you will come visiting me in an electric car. It's right now very expensive, but it will drop prices once the numbers pick up. It also depends on what the lobby, the industry lobby will play around this. What kind of politics they play, we will have to wait and see.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm Ruchika from FI BBA BCACS. Sir, the biggest fear that I have is the fear that I won't be able to meet the expectations which are set by my parents. The facilities or amenities, all the efforts they have done for me, I fear that I may not be able to provide them all those facilities back when I grow up as an individual. How do I overcome that fear?
They have done their duty. They don't expect anything from you. I don't think you should, of course, as their child, it is your duty to take care of them. It is your duty to respect them, etc. If you are successful, that's all they want. Once you are successful, they have achieved their objective. All you have to do is, I would say, apart from success, happiness. Your happiness is also very important for them. So you need to be successful, you need to be happy. End of the day, if you say that I'm not very successful, but I'm happy doing this, they're fine. They'll say, okay, be happy. First, be happy, be healthy. That's all parents look for. You will not be able to understand, you will not understand this until unless you have children who will grow up. And that is the time you will understand, oh yeah, this works this way. Many times, I have had a fight with my father, a very bitter fight with my father. After that, I lost an opportunity to say sorry to him. Today he is not here. I can't say sorry to him. I don't think we should be in that situation. It's extremely important to reason it out with parents, even if it means argument. It is fine, but reason it out and make sure that that gap is bridged. What is important to give parents is to tell them that you are happy. Of course, you need to be happy for that. That's all what they're looking for, and they don't look for any other return. This is my view. And from your view, you think you have a fear that what if I don't meet that expectation? First, know that their expectation is only your happiness. You be happy, they are fine.
Thank you, sir.
You getting 85, 95, 100 out of 100 is part of happiness, not fully. Right? If you are successful in a career, if you put a smile on somebody's face, your parents will be extremely proud. That pride and your happiness is their ingredient for life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.